If you are on a Mac or a Linux, there are a couple different ways for each operating system to install Git. First things first, let's go over Mac because more people are using Mac than they are Linux desktop. So on a Mac, if you have a program called brew, you can type brew install git. Now, if you don't have brew, this is a program called homebrew, and I would suggest getting this for your Mac operating system. This is really just a package manager, so it'll allow you to easily update Git down the road for example, or install other packages that might be related to Git or might be related to a particular project you're working on. It's a really useful tool. So that's Mac number one. Mac option number two is you can just open up your browser and go to sourceforge.net/projects/git-osx-installer/files. Scroll on down this page, and you'll probably just want to get the latest one. So this one is Git 2.23.0, and you can see that it's got 30,000 downloads this week. If there's a newer version, definitely go ahead, get that newer version. But if you see this one, you can also get this one as well. You're going to want to download this, install it, and once you have that up and running, you'll be able to open a program called Terminal. Every Mac comes with this program called Terminal, and I'll write that out. Terminal. Basically, that's what I'm using here. Now, I've got a customized version of my terminal, but your terminal is going to look something like this. Now, if you're on a Linux, there's a different way of doing this. So usually, you'll type sudo apt install git, and that will install Git for you. If you're in an older version of Linux, or an older version of, let's say, Ubuntu, you would do sudo apt get install git. And that will install it for you on older versions of Ubuntu, say Ubuntu 12, 14, 16, something like that. If you're on Ubuntu 18 or earlier, it's just sudo apt install git. If you're on a different Linux operating system, it might be Yum, it might be whatever your package manager is, but chances are it's your prefix, whatever your package manager is called, install git, something along those lines. If you're already on Linux, chances are you already know how to do this and you know which one to use. Now, quick little crash course, if you are brand new to using the command line on Mac or on a Linux, you can type pwd, and that will show you the working directory that we're in. This is really just a folder name here, so I'm in the root of my computer, and then I'm in a folder called bin. And to change directories, you can do cd, and cd stands for change directory. And then to list all of your files and folders, you can always do ls-la. And you can see I've got a bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to cd up one directory, ls-la, and you can see I'm just sort of in the root here. So there's nothing fancy going on in here. This is just really folders and a temporary folder in here. We're going to be working with command line a little bit more throughout this course. That's not really Git related, so you're going to want to be familiar with cd. Let me just make that a little bit centered here. You're going to want to be familiar with cd and probably pwd. Oh, and also ls-la. Cd, too many arguments because that's not a command. You have to do one at a time. So it's cd, pwd, or ls-la. So go ahead, get Git installed on your computer. Once you have it installed up and running, you've got your terminal open. Or if you're on a Linux machine, you'll want to open up a program called bash instead of terminal. Terminal is for a Mac, bash is for a Linux machine. Once you have that up and running, you can type git -- version, and it will show you the version of Git that we're using. Once you're done that, let's head on over to that next lesson where we get started with GitHub.